Whoa, hey, welcome back to my channel. Hey, what are you doing tonight? Are you thinking about maybe gathering with some friends or rallying the family together? Hey, I have an idea. Why not play a game of cards with them? Yeah, I've got an interesting card game that I thought I would create a little tutorial on. Hopefully it's new to you and hopefully you actually play it. It's a lot of fun. It's called May I. All right, let's talk about game prep. First, I need players. How many players? You could play the game May I with as few as 4 players or as many as 12 or even more players than that. I found that the best number of players is 6 to 8 players. That's the most fun. Then you need some cards. If you're going to play with 6 or 8 players, you probably need 5 decks of cards all shuffled together to play the game. And don't forget the jokers. Yes, jokers are part of May I. Now there may be some card connoisseurs out there that are going, a game with jokers? Well, yeah, that makes the game a lot of fun. Okay, so lastly, grab a pencil and paper because we will be keeping score. And in this game, the lowest score wins and the highest score loses. All right, the basic gameplay is simple. A dealer deals out 11 cards to everybody, and we rotate the deal. Whoever's first player to the left gets to go first. When the dealer deals out their cards, everybody getting 11, they'll also turn 1 card up. Now, the first player gets the choice of either taking that card or picking a card from the pile. Pick a card, discard a card. That's the basic gameplay. All right, now let's talk about the language of the game. There are a few things that we need to understand. The first thing we need to understand is what we call runs or sets. All right, let's understand some of the language of the game. Critical piece to this game is to understand what is a set and what is a run. A set is like cards with a minimum of 3. You can have a set made up of 4 5s, 5 5s, as many 5s as you want, but a minimum of 3 makes this a set. This is a run. You'll note that they must be in the same suit and they must be in order, in numerical order. Once again, you could have 3. You could have as many cards in this run as you want, but a minimum of 3. Sets and runs. Next thing we need to kind of understand a little bit is when the player plays their last card and I am left with cards in my hand, how do I add up the points in that hand? At the end of each of the 7 games, any player with any cards remaining in their hand is going to have to add up the points from their hand. How do you add up points? Any number card is worth 5 points. Whether you have a 9 or a 2, it doesn't matter. Each of these cards is worth 5 points. If you have any face cards remaining in your hand, all face cards are worth 10 points. If you have any remaining aces in your hand, each of these is worth 15 points. And if you were unlucky and got stuck with any jokers, those are worth 25 points. Believe me, you do not want to get stuck with any jokers because those points add up fast and they can hurt. The next concept we have to understand with the game of May I is May I. Now remember when I said that upon your turn you will pick a card from the pile up or the pile down, and then you will discard a card. This is where May I comes into play. The gameplay is simple. Upon your turn, you can pick a card from either the down pile or the up pile. If you don't want the up card, then you can pick one from the down, view it, decide whether you want to keep it, and now discard. Once you discard, that card is now available for anybody to say, may I? So let's say for the fun of it, this player over here says, may I have that 7? This player gets first rights of refusal. If they want the 7, they can take it. And since it's this person's turn, they can take that 7 for free. Then if this player doesn't want the 7, then this player can decide if they want the 7. If they do not, then this player can have that may I card. They can take the may I card, but you must also take a penalty card. Now, once you take this card from the pile, this card is now available for a may I. So once again, if this player said, oh, may I have that card as well? Once again, you start here. Does this player want the 7? If not, does this player want the 7? If not, then this player can have that 7 as well, as long as you take a penalty card. Now that 2 is in play. Now, may I is available to any player right up until the next player picks their card to continue their turn. Once they pick that card, may I is not available. You cannot pick any cards from here. When that player discards that card, now anybody can start may I-ing the drop pile. Hopefully that makes sense. This is a series of 7 games. Each of the games becomes a little bit more difficult than the game before, which makes those may I's all the more valuable. 7 games will provide a final total score. And then, plus, the later in the games, the more valuable that may I is going to become. Now, if you want to add a little twist to the game and you want to gamble a little bit, you could play a penny a point or more. It could get somewhat expensive, but it could be a lot of fun. So let's take a look at the 7 games. All right, at this point, you might want to get a pen and paper and write these 7 games down, because this will become your cheat sheets. Now remember, the object of the game is to take the 11 cards that were dealt to you, and through the use of the progression of your turns and the use of may I's, to create sets and runs that we're going to review more in a moment. Once you have the game requirements of sets and runs, you can then reveal those sets and runs to the community of players and place them down in front of you face up. Once those community cards are laid down, all other players who have also disclosed their sets and runs can use the remaining cards in their hand and play off on all community cards. The simulation will make this a bit clearer in a moment. All right, so now I think what we need to do is take a quick look at some animation here of some gameplay, because let's face it, nothing learns faster than watching it happen. So here's an animation of some gameplay that will hopefully bring all that we've learned together into a final quick understanding. Let's take a look. All right, once again, welcome to the game. And the name of the game is May I. But first, let's meet the players of the game. Featuring in player 1 position will be Olaf, I think from the movie Freeze. Welcome, Olaf, to the player 1 position. In player 2 position will be Shrek. Thank you, Shrek, for joining us. We appreciate it. And by popular demand, in the player 3 position will be Pretty Witch. Hello, Pretty Witch. Yeah. And our dealer today is going to be Donald Duck. Thank you, Donald. I know that you have a very busy schedule, and we greatly appreciate you joining us. So let's all remember what the object of the game is. The object of the game, and the winner will be ye who has the fewest points after you play all 7 games. And here are the 7 games to be played. What we're going to do for this simulation is we're going to jump right into the middle of game 2. Game 2 that requires 1 set and 1 run. In other words, you must have a set and a run before you are allowed to place your cards into community play. Let's see what that actually looks like. All right, so once again, we're in the middle of game 2. 1 set, 1 run.
which is the minimum requirement. We'll see exactly what that means in just a moment. Now, Shrek, on Shrek's last turn, he had the minimum requirement of 1 set in those 2s and the run of hearts using the Joker as an 8 of hearts. Once he lays his cards into community, he can start discarding his remaining cards on all of the other community cards that are out there. Now, Pretty Witch also on her last turn had a set and a run. And player 3, or the Pretty Witch, concluded her turn by discarding the King of Diamonds. It is now Donald's turn to play. Donald does not need that King of Diamonds, as you can see in his hand. Donald already has his run in that 3, 4, 5 of spades. He also has 2 10s and 2 6s. More of either one of them will complete his set. So he's going to pick a card from the down pile and draws a 7 of diamonds. It does not help him, so he's going to discard it. It's now Olaf's turn, and Olaf doesn't want that 7 of diamonds either. Apparently nobody does. So he's going to pick a card from the down pile. He pulls a 10. The 10 apparently does not help his hand, so he's going to discard it. Now, Donald says he could use that 10 because he already has a pair, but before he can, we need Shrek to basically give him permission since he is first in line. Shrek says, nah, he doesn't need that 10. Bear in mind, Pretty Witch could take that in spite, but Pretty Witch says, nah, she doesn't want it either. So, yeah, Donald's going to take that 10 to complete his set, giving him now 3 10s. But with that 10 and that may I comes a penalty card. Just so happens this penalty card is a Joker. Doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. Once he stows his penalty card, it's now Shrek's turn. Shrek doesn't want the 7 of diamonds. He's going to pick a card from the down pile, and he picks a deuce. Now that deuce plays in the community cards. It happens to be his own set of 2s. So once he plays that, this is how he gets rid of the cards from his hand. So he's going to discard the 4 of diamonds. Pretty Witch does not want that 4 of diamonds. She has no need for that 4 of diamonds, but she must pick a card. She picks a King of Spades. She has no other play but to discard that King of Spades or get rid of the highest cards in your hand, because eventually you're going to have to add up points. Now it's Donald's turn. Once again, he does not want that king, so he's going to draw a card from the pile. He pulls another 6, which actually makes for him another set. Now he's got a set of 10s and a set of 6s. But he has met his minimum because the 10s and that run, 3, 4, 5 of spades, will in fact meet the minimum game requirements of 1 set and 1 run. He also does have another set, and he can actually play them in community. So he's going to lay down, as we call it, lay down his set and his run. And once again, he's met the minimum requirements. He's got a set and a run. But he has a second set, so he gets to play that as well. Now the remaining cards in his hand also play on others' community cards. The first thing he's going to do is take that Joker from Shrek, and yes, you can do that. And then you could use that Joker anywhere you want. He also has a Jack that plays well into that straight of Shrek's. He also has the Ace to go on the set from Pretty Witch. Now he's got those 2 Jokers, which he could basically do whatever he wants with them. He can play them in straights, and then he has a discard. Once he discards, game is over. Last card's been played. Now it's basically up to everybody to add up the remaining points in their hand, score them, and then go ahead and deal out game 3.
All right, now that we've had our little tutorial on the game of May I, let's go out there and play the game. And if you do, leave me a comment below. Tell me how it went. If you know this game by any other name or have any other variations to this game, leave comments below. I and other viewers will enjoy reading them. Thanks for watching, and until next time, have a great day.